record. Good to go. And here we go.
And now, Journey to Success with Pete Asmus. Tonight, mindset to action steps and everything in between. We are about you, focusing on what you need to get to that next level. So get ready, get excited, because we are about to get started. From coast to coast, your host, Pete, the visionary pitbull, Asmus.
All right. Hey, welcome everybody. Today is let's see, it's Set It Off Sunday, that's for one. And then we also have the fact that it is a Sunday, right? July 12th. This is the 97th airing of Journey to Success, or Get the Winning Edge. And we're actually going to convert the name from Journey to Success to Get the Winning Edge on the 100th episode. But until then, it's still going to be Journey to Success, brought to you Get the Winning Edge, brought to you by Journey to Success. And tonight we're going to really kind of talk about what defines you, right? And can you believe in yourself when nobody else does? I'm going to tell you that's one of the hardest things to do when really going after your goals, when reaching success, when going after it, is being able to see what you want. But not only being able to see what you want, being able to see the path to get there, even when it's not apparent, even when it's not right out in front of you. And the biggest challenge is really going to be you being able to believe in yourself even when everybody else around you doesn't. Because there's going to be a lot of times that you're going to be going after something. You're going to be chasing a dream, I guess you can say, but really going after what you want, right? And there's going to be people, they say haters, they say, people that want to discourage you, whatever you want to call it, doesn't really matter. The fact is, they're going to be out there and they're going to be taking you out. They're going to be trying to get you at the legs. They're going to tell you you can't do it. They're going to tell you you're not smart enough. You don't have the right look. You're not this, you're not that. You're not this, you're not that. They're going to try and reinforce every single thing that you already are self-conscious about, that you already feel maybe is true, maybe isn't true, right? Not only that, they're going to start bringing in things that you're going to start resonating with, right? Well, yeah, and you do this, and you're going to go, wait, I didn't know I did that. And all of a sudden, you're going to start getting wrapped up in all of these sayings. You're going to get wrapped up in these people's words. And the challenge is, the real challenge for you is to not let it affect you, is to let it bounce off of you. Because here's the thing, they're not paying your bills. They're not doing what you're doing. They're not going after their dreams. They're just kicking you because you are. They're kicking sand in your face. They're too scared to go after what they want, so they want to hold everybody else back. And I'm not going to say that that's everybody, but I'm telling you, there is a lot of people out there that are like that. They don't want to see you succeed, not because they don't want to see you succeed, but because it reminds them of the failure that they are. And that they don't like. And so they want to try and hold you down. They want to try and bring you down because they feel like a piece of crap. So they're going to attack you to bring you down too. And here's where it really starts getting tough, is when you're going after your dreams, when you've become an entrepreneur, when you are on your own, that there is no saving net, there's no safety net, there's nothing like that. And you still have to believe in yourself. You can have $20 in your account, but you can't pretend like you do. You can't act like you do. You can't go and beg people to work with you. You can't go and look desperate. You have to come from a strong standpoint, which means you have to believe so much. You have to believe so much in yourself that nothing can waver that. And see, I think one of the biggest things that we as humans do is we don't have that belief. We refuse to believe in ourselves. We think that, you know what, that the one in a chance, look, you're talking about Superman, you're talking about Batman, you're talking about things that aren't realistic. And the thing is, it's all realistic. You can be your own Superman, Superwoman. You can be your own Batman. You can be your own superhero that can come and save you. Because the reality is, there isn't another superhero. There isn't a real Superman or a real Batman. The only real superheroes in this world are within us. They're the things that we bring out of us. They're the things that we believe in. We can believe in ourselves so much that it can turn the twist of fate. You can change what happens. You can start focusing on your outcome. Where do you want to be? Not where are you? Nobody cares where you are. And look, if you're not where you want to be, you don't want to broadcast that anyways, right? You don't want to share with everybody, yeah, I still live in an apartment. Yeah, I still drive a hunk of crap. Yeah, I still do this. Yeah, I still do that. You don't want to share that. You want to share what you want to be, where you want to be. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that everything that you've done has brought you to this point, to this day, to this moment that will allow you to catapult your life. And when you get knocked down, you've got to think that it's going to be part of your story. Look, sometimes it's weird. When I was going and beginning all of this, I remember when things would get really tough. I mean, man, like tough to where I remember parts of my life where I was looking going, what do I do? I had $300 in the bank. I didn't have a job, right? I was an entrepreneur. I was starting my business. I had things working. Okay. So I knew that I was going to be getting money because I had been building this up, man. And I mean, it took a good year before I was able to get my first deal, but I was working at it, right? So I knew that I had made some adjustments. I was starting to shift gears. I had money that was going to be coming in, but man, I had worked. I didn't want to lose credit points. There was so many things, and I had to stop and go, look, what is the worst that could happen? What's the worst that could happen? The worst that could happen is I could lose my car. The worst that could happen is I could get kicked out and have to live with somebody for a couple of months because I know that I have money coming in. And look, if I had to live with my friend for 2 months and then I have 40, 50 grand in my pocket and I'm able to go buy a house, I mean, that's an okay thing. But we don't look at it like that. What we do is we go, oh my gosh, I've got $300 in my account. What do I do to pay my bills right now? What's going to solve this? I don't want to be in this. I don't want to feel this pain anymore. I don't want to feel this stress anymore. So instead of that, I'm going to go work for somebody else where I can get a guaranteed paycheck, right? And as long as I can at least make $2,400 or $3,400 or whatever your number is, right? As long as I can make that, oh my gosh, then I could start working on everything else. But that's not what happens. You end up going and working for another job. You end up getting a promotion. You end up getting sucked into that thing. And all of your dreams end up taking a back seat. And then all of a sudden you have kids and the kids are in the back seat now. So now where do the dreams go? Well, now they're in the trunk, but now you're going to go on a family vacation and that gets filled up. So boom, they're gone. They're out of the car. They're out of the vehicle. They're out of the trip, the journey, right? And I'm going to tell you right now, it's scary as hell to be on your own. It is. And some of you are going, I remember having parents and that I could rely on and this and that. And then when that was gone, and even to some point, I'm sure if I wanted to, I could ask my dad if I needed help or something, right? But I had to get past the point of asking him for help. I had to get past the point of asking others for help. I had to stop looking at how I could put a Band-Aid or a bridge on the situation, and I needed to find out how I could solve my problems, how I could put food on the table, how I could create a product, generate money, and bring it in. How could I do that? And it wasn't until I stopped looking at all the things and ways that people could help me and started looking at, well, what if they didn't exist? What would I do? How would I make this happen? And then you start solving your problems. You start coming up with solutions. But the biggest thing, and one of the biggest challenges for most people is that when they get to the point where they feel the stress the most, they instantly go to what will make them feel good right now, not what's going to be the solving problem, right? And what would make you feel good right now is to go get another job, right? You get another job. Okay, now at least this is working towards something, but now you're going in a completely different direction. And you've got all this new information to learn for this new field and this new thing and this new this, instead of bucking up and going, I'm going to make this work. Like, what the hell do I need to do? And digging in and not letting anything go and going after it and putting in more hours and putting in more time and giving everything else up so that you can create a serious platform and a real solution. We don't look at what the solutions could be and focus on those. We look at all the challenges, what all the problems that we have are, what all the deficits that we have are, and we look at ways to bind those real quick, right? My glass is half empty. Okay, well, I'm gonna go grab this water and I'm gonna put water in it, and boom, now my glass is full. Instead of figuring out how to get water permanently coming in and filling up that glass. So it's not you constantly going and grabbing water and filling it up and grabbing water and filling it up and grabbing water and filling it up. Think about a pool. A lot of times when people have pools, right? It's weird, and they didn't used to have these. These are something that are probably within the last 10 years, okay? So I guess they've had them for a long time, but relative to how long pools have been out, not a long time. And the only reason I know this is because I used to be in the pool industry. I took a company that had done $5,000 in, I don't even remember now. I think it was like 2007 or something like this, but they had done $5,000 in one distributor here in California. And the owner had met me and basically asked me to become the CEO, spokesperson, run the sales. I mean, just basically take on the company. And when I did this, in the first 11 months, I took the company from that $5,000 to over $500,000 in net profit. And then my son got cancer, and so there's a lot of other things that happened, and I ended up not being there anymore because I just kind of fell apart at the point. And that's when I decided I needed to have a change. I needed something more solid. I needed to not have it rely on me, right? I needed to figure out a better solution. And so it comes down to when we get stressed, when we start to feel like things aren't going right, we want to fix it with a Band-Aid. It's like a diet, right? Oh, I'm getting fat, so I'm going to just starve myself for a week so I lose weight. But then what happens? You start eating and right back up to fat again, right? Because we're putting a Band-Aid, we're fixing it with a temporary problem instead of going, what do I need to do to not have this be an issue anymore? Well, I've got to change the way I think. I've got to change the way I eat. I've got to change the way that I associate with food so that I can start to have the body and the shape and the everything that I want. Now, the hardest thing is doing that, right? It's easy to talk about, but actually changing your association to that food is difficult. And it's difficult because we want to feel good when right now. I don't want to feel good later. I mean, I do, but dang, I don't want to wait. How long do I got to wait to feel good? Like let me, we start to weigh it out, right? Okay, well, I'm going to be able to feel this good on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm going to be able to feel a 5, but it's going to take me an 8 to get to it. Not really worth it, right? All of a sudden, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. And so we've got to create it so that everything that we do is working in that positive direction so that we do feel good. So we feel the juice is worth the squeeze so that it doesn't take as much effort for us to get where we want. But we've got to be willing to sacrifice in the beginning. And typically that's not what we're not willing to do that. Look, I want a better life, man. I want a better life. I want a better life. I want a better life. We'll do this. I don't want to do that. Well, why not? Well, because in the past this, in the past that, in the past this. Well, hold on. Are you driving forward or are you going backwards? Because I can't help you if you're not moving in a forward direction. Yeah, but in the past this happened and that happened. Great. Did you learn from that? Well, yeah. Okay, well then let's keep moving. But I don't want to go this direction. Look, just because something didn't work in real estate investing before doesn't mean it won't work again. There's plenty of people that have lost money in real estate investing. It's something that happens. It's a learning process. It's all about experience. It's about getting out there. There's plenty of people that have started their own companies, that have started their own businesses, and they fail in the beginning. Because guess what? The road to success is littered with failure. The road to success is actually made on all the failures that person did. Nobody ever gets it right away. Nobody ever hits a home run and has 1,000% batting average? Nobody, not even anywhere remotely close. In fact, you're in the Hall of Fame if you're something like a 250 to 350 or somewhere in that vicinity, right? That means 2 to 3 times when you're pitched a ball, right? Out of every 10 pitches, as long as you can hit 2 or 3 of them, you end up being a multi-million-dollar player. You could end up getting into the Hall of Fame. And they fail. They fail 7 out of 10 times. And they're considered the best. So why is it then that you are putting yourself on such a higher pedestal saying, well, if I fail, then everybody's going to make fun of me. Everybody's going to this. Everybody's going to that. Do you know what would a baseball player feel if, man, here I struck out again. Boy, everybody's going to be making fun of me. They can't think like that. And neither can you. You've got to think like they do. They think like this. Well, I know out of 10 times I swing that bat, 3 of them I'm going to get a hit, right? So if I'm striking out and it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm starting to get excited. Why? Because I know I'm going to get a home run in the next 2 or 3 hits at bats, period. Because it's about averages. But we don't live our life like that. We live our life freaking out, thinking, what about? We look at all the negatives. When we're presented with a challenge or an obstacle, we look at what the obstacle's biggest challenge could be, and then we assume that will happen, and then we start to try and Band-Aid over it. Instead of looking at all the challenges for what they are, and then looking at all the things that can go right and focusing on that. We don't do that. We don't focus on the 10 different ways it can go right. We focus on the 5 million reasons it could go wrong. And then we wonder why. Well, see, look at 1 out of those 5 million happened. Well, what one were you focusing on? Well, the one that happened. It's weird. In fact, I have to multiple times during a week or a day sometimes, I have to focus and I have to sit there and think, hold on, what you're thinking isn't positive. What you're thinking isn't going to get you where you want to be. You can't look at something and go, man, what if they don't show up? Man, what if they don't show up? Man, what if they don't show up? Because they're not going to end up showing up. I'm making it happen. I'm creating that reality. Instead of saying everything is going to be awesome. I have gotten in the habit of every morning when I wake up, I say today is going to be amazing. Today is going to be amazing. I consistently say that. Something's going to happen today that's going to be incredible. I have been working on this turnkey system for, man, it seems like 7 or 8 months now, for real. Putting out things, doing the strategies, doing the marketing and everything for it. And a lot of times people would have given up after 2, 3, 4 months, 5 months going, man, this just isn't working. This just isn't working. But I didn't. I kept doing it, kept putting stuff out because one thing I know, people need to see consistency. And look, I'm doing it anyway. So why wouldn't I show it? And now I had 3 people call me this weekend going, look, I want to get involved. I've got money to go. I'm ready to go. So now it's starting to happen like I wanted it to happen. But it didn't happen at first. It took months for this to happen. And I mean, I'm talking about I'm marketing an extremely successful system. 11,000 deals, right? 11,000 deals. $250 million in profit. And I've got everything to prove all of that. So I have a huge platform, very strong to stand on. And it still took a long time to get things to happen. And my point to this story is I know that most of you out there are not looking or working with the system like I created. And it took me 7 or 8 months to make this happen, right? So you cannot expect to see these amazing results in your own strategies and your own systems that you're looking to do on your own without partners or anybody and go, well, I don't get it. How come I'm not getting those same results right now? What that means is you need to plug into a system. You need to plug in and work with somebody else. Plug in and tap into a turnkey system. Tap in, and look, I'm not even just saying mine. All right, for real. I mean, I honestly think I have the best one, but I'm not even saying that. I'm saying if you don't have any money, I'm definitely not your ticket, right? But I can help you. I have a program with Strongbrook. I have people on here even tonight, like Mike and things like that are on our team out there. So that I could help you with. Or maybe just in your own area, wherever you are, finding somebody that you can team up with that you know, like, and trust, that you feel like they will help you get to that next level. You are going to have to, if you have zero money, you're going to have to put in time, and you're going to have to do work that you don't like, and you're not going to be able to complain about it. You're gonna go, man, this is B work. This is crazy. Why am I doing this? How come you're not doing this? How come he isn't doing this? And the reality is, we've all done it before. But so many times when people when they want to come into real estate investing, they want the sexy part. They want it right off the bat. I want to go to all the meetings. I want to stand up in the front of the room and talk. I remember that 10 years ago. I remember being at my very first seminar. And I remember my son had cancer at the time, and I needed to fix something. And I went and I saw somebody speak on stage, and I remember thinking, my gosh, I want to do that. I want to do that. I can't wait. I want to speak in front of people. Like, that is so awesome. And he's giving these people a solution. Like, this is so cool. I want to do that. And it's taken me 10 years to get to that point, because I had to have something to sell. I had to have a product, right? I had to have something that I knew something about. Real estate now, I have a system that works consistently over and over again. But it took me years to put this together. But so many times when anybody comes into anything, they want results right now. It's an instant world that we live in. It's an instant results that we live in. And those results don't happen. When people are like, yeah, I want to get those 50 and 80% deals, great. They're few and far between, and the risk factor on those things is insane. It just is. And you can say, well, no, but this one's safe. And then I say, okay, well, how many have you done? And you say none. And I say, exactly, that's my point. There's so many times that I see investors hunting for these great, phenomenal deals that they're looking for, that they see on the gurus, on the TV, on their seminars, and all this other BS that it doesn't happen. It doesn't exist. Yet we have things, right? When I go to talk to people, and it's like, look, we can do, anywhere from 6 to 15% every 4 months, turning that into somewhere between 20 and 45% annualized, meaning in 2 years, you could almost double your money. And when I talk to people that know anything about money, they freak out, because that is a safe and, well, I mean, obviously there's risk to everything, right? But when you come at people with a real solution, and not just something that is all on hype, not something that's based off of theory and all these ideas, but based off of things that are actually happening. I was talking to a friend of mine today, and she was asking me what I do, and we used to work together, and I said, yeah, I have these workshops now. And I said, it's pretty cool. I said, I don't even have any slides because I don't teach. These workshops are not about teaching. It's all about doing real estate. Like literally just going in there, you're going to see it. You're going to see the system, and then you're going to take action with us, right? And the reason I'm saying this is because it's going to always come down to taking action, not just learning about things, not just getting information, not just absorbing all these different things and reading these quotes and getting motivated. That's great. But if you don't take action with any of that stuff, it's useless. It's absolutely useless, and you're wasting your time. Go back to your 9-to-5 job and stop trying to be an entrepreneur, because you're not made out for it. You just aren't. And an entrepreneur is going to have a rough start. It just is. It is what it is. But here's what I found too. An entrepreneur, there's just no other option. There just isn't. I can't work for somebody else. I can't. I refuse to. I freak out. I get pissed off. There's so much more. Oh man, I could just say a bunch of different things right now, but they're stupid. I can't stand working for stupid people. I cannot stand working for people that don't know what they're doing. I cannot stand working for people that are hypocrites, that just got into this job, that whatever. I can't stand it. And it's so many different companies. There's politics, there's this, there's that, and I didn't want any part of it. And I've created my world so that my family can be involved, because that was big for me. When my son went through cancer, when my daughter got alopecia, it was like, look, I'm going to make sure that my family is around me no matter what. And I'll give up certain things. I could be a lot more cash wealthy at this point if I didn't care so much about really spending the majority of my time with my family and working some of it. So I get to live my life like I want. Do I drive around in a Rolls right now? Do I have a G5? No, I don't. But I get to see my family every single day. I get to raise my children. My daughter, who just turned 2, is almost swimming fully without any floaties or anything. And I mean, she does, but I won't let her in the pool by herself yet with like that. So, but my point is I get to do all of that. I get to do all of that because I focused my life to create that reality. Now I'm focusing it. Okay, I've created what I want. Now I want more money so that I could do more things. Because now I have 2 more children than when I started this whole adventure, and I'm starting to realize how expensive kids are. I just when they were born, they weren't that expensive, and now that Haley and Madison are like 5 and 6, they're starting to eat like crazy, and it's like all of a sudden we have 4 adults in the house that are eating and the clothes, and I just realized, hey, look, I can't relax anymore. I've got to jump back on it, and so that's why I started and I created this. And my question to you is, what do you want to create? What do you want to make? What are you waiting for your life to be just perfect for so that you can do something? I'm going to tell you right now, your life is never going to be perfect. It's never going to be the right time. You're always going to have something going on. You're always going to have somebody telling you no. You're always going to have somebody telling you you shouldn't do it. You're always going to look, it's never going to be the right time. The only time that you're going to understand when it's the right time is when you finally had enough of the bullshit in your life that you will stand up and say, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done living my life the way it is. I'm done living my life the way that I'm living it. I'm done. I'm done. I'm just done. And you're going to start to create a new life. You're going to stop making excuses. You're going to stop saying, well, it's late. Well, I got to get sleep. Well, I got to hang out with my kids. Look, I have to get up sometimes in the morning, and it's the biggest challenge for me because, man, my daughter, Graceland, she's only going to be this much bigger for this much longer, right? She's 2 right now. By the time she hits 4 or 5, she gets too big to really kind of lay in bed and cuddle in the morning. And I know that time is going away. And at the same time, I got to get up and do things. I got to go to the gym. I got to work out. I've got to get up and I've got to get ready for my day, and I've got to start to make things happening so that my family can have what they want. And so I have to give that up. And that's one of the hardest things it is for me to that's one of the hardest things for me to give up is that time with her. But I have to, because if I want her to have an amazing life, I've got to hustle. I've got to get up and make that happen. Nobody's going to do it for me. I've tried sitting on the couch and hanging out at the pool and just kind of kicking it. And guess what? Nobody came and knocked on my door and said, hey, here's $10 million. Great job. Nobody did that. I didn't get paid to do that. I get paid to make relationships. I get paid to create solutions. I get paid to do things, to brand, to market. And so that's what I'm focusing on. What are you focusing on? What do you get paid to do? And what are you wasting your time doing that's getting you nothing, that's getting you nowhere? I know a lot of times we get really wrapped up, right, in this idea that we have and this concept, and we want to do this, and it's got to be like this, and we get all ideological on it. And it becomes where the strategy is more important than the result. And that's literally taken down companies, bankrupt people. It's that stubbornness, that resolve, that unwavering intent. As great as that can be at times, it can also be the biggest downfall. Because in order to be a great entrepreneur, you have to be flexible. You have to realize that sometimes things aren't going to work, but everything leads you to where you're supposed to be. See, all the little tiny jobs that you've had, all the little experiences that you've had, all of those shape who you are. They give you the skill set that you now have. Had you not had all of those things, you wouldn't be the person you are now. You wouldn't be listening to me, and you wouldn't be understanding the words that I'm saying. You wouldn't be getting motivated right now to go out and make something happen. You wouldn't be getting inspired to realize that your destiny is just begun. You wouldn't be seeing right now and feeling like your chest is about to blow out, because the power within you is amazing. You're starting to feel and see what you can actually do. You're starting to put the connections together and go, well, I know him, I know him, I know her, I know this, I know that, I know this. And if I start to put these things together, I could create a platform. I could create a way to provide a solution or a service to people that people would pay for because I'm very good at what I do. And for me, it's awesome because I am good at what I do. And I created another magazine today for a potential client that I'm going to be getting. And it's the more I do things, the better I get. It's just amazing. And the same will be true for you. Find what you're passionate about. Find what you're good at. Find what you want to do. And then go out there and go make it happen. Guys, thank you so much for listening to me today. I appreciate it. I didn't want to make this one long. I wanted to make this one really kind of more shortened and really focused on you taking action in your life this week. This week, I want you to focus on what you can do for you. What you can do for you. I want you to take steps towards goals that you have and start believing in yourself. Believe in what you can do. Believe in who you are. Because I'll tell you right now, that was the one thing for me that changed my life. Was when I stopped listening to all the people that don't pay my bills and I started listening to the one that could. Me. I started looking at what I wanted to do. It was my friend that had come over. She said, it's funny. In the 5 or 6 years I've known you, you've done a lot of different things, had different partners, but you've never, ever changed who you were. I've always been the same person. Just didn't always have the right things in place. And all of that has to do with growing. And that's what my point to you tonight is. That every step you make, you're getting closer to the person that you're supposed to be. Every step you make, every failure you make, every success, all of those, you need them all. Without failures, you'd learn nothing. Nothing. You may think, well, I don't want any failures, but I'm going to tell you right now, those are the best things. They build you, they strengthen you, because as you grow, as an investor, as a person, as a human, as a philanthropist, as all of those things, as you grow, as you get more money, believe me, the problems don't become smaller. The challenges don't become less. It's not like all of a sudden you have less people to deal with. That's not true at all. It's exactly opposite. Meaning, you are as prepared as you can be for who you are right now. If you want to be more, you need to prepare for a better you. You need to start building that better you within you. Start making decisions based off the person you want to be, not the person that you've become. Nobody drives a car looking in the rearview mirror or looking down. So stop living your life like that. Live your life moving forward, looking forward, where you want to go, not where you've been. And not where you are. Because where you are in the present, there's nothing you can do about it. It's already done. It's the past. The only thing you have control over is the future. Past is gone. Present is already the past. So the future is the one thing that you have total control over. You have 100% control over what your future looks like. Now, the sad part is, most of us, we hand somebody else the reins. We hand somebody else the control. We get out and we say, hey, who wants to drive our car? Because we're too afraid that we're going to ding it. We're too afraid that we're going to crash it. We're too afraid that we're going to do something wrong that will take out the car completely. But until we learn to drive, look, it may get dented. That's life. It may run out of gas and you may have to push it back and fill it up. It may flip. It may run. Brakes may go out. You may have a blowout. You may do this. There's a million things that could go wrong. And it could just work out. But here's what's going to happen. You're going to get in the car and you're going to start to drive, and 5 different things are going to go wrong in a race. And you're going to fix all of them, and you're going to learn, because next time you're going to watch for those things, and then 2 different things are going to go wrong, or 5 different things are going to go wrong. And by the 30th race, you're going to be prepared for anything that happens. It's just like investing. It's just like life. It's just like entrepreneurship. The more you do it, the more tools you have, the better you are, the more options you have, and the more people want to be around you because they see the successes. They see and sometimes it's not even the successes. They see the challenges. They saw you fail and come out of it. So now you've got people coming to you going, look, how did you do that? Because I feel like I've done the same thing. And you just turned something horrible, something that you couldn't even believe happened to you, into something that makes you more money than ever. Because what you never realized was you weren't alone. What made you different was crawling out of the challenge, not being in the challenge. Everybody's in a challenge. Everybody has problems. Everybody has difficulties. Everybody loses people. Everybody loses things. Everybody has problems. Everybody. It's just successful people can stay focused. Successful people realize that, look, life does go on. Doesn't mean that we don't care. Doesn't mean that it doesn't matter. But it does mean that if I don't do something, somebody else will. There's somebody right behind me waiting to take over. And I promise you, 2 weeks later, they're going to have something happen in their life too. We all do. It's just, what do you let that something do to you? Do you let it take you out of the game? Or do you let it inspire you to help others? When my son had cancer, I started looking at how I could help other people that had cancer or children with cancer. I just looked at how I could inspire other people because I felt so bad. I felt so horrible. I just wanted to help other people because I was hoping that would make me feel better, because I didn't want my son to die. I didn't want to lose my son. And thank God I didn't. But a lot of other people did. And I know how horrible that disease is. And then my daughter gets alopecia. And thank God I was set up with my son for my daughter. I mean, it's just like one after another. But man, now I feel invincible. It's like, it's cool. She's bald. That's all good. Whatever. It doesn't matter. What really matters is that I love them. What really matters is that I do everything to make their lives the best I can possibly do. And sometimes that means I've got to work more. Sometimes that means I gotta do more. But what it always will mean is that I'm going to take care of them. And so, what's your passion? What do you want to do with your life? Where do you want to be? And when are you finally going to stop living the life that you don't want to live? When are you going to give that up? And I know a lot of you could have a lot of different excuses, but at the end of the day, at some point, you got to make it. Now, does that mean if you just quit your job right now, that's the right decision? Nope, not even saying that. Does that mean, though, that if you did, that you would start to get different results? Yes, I am saying that. You would go through some fire, I'm sure of it. I know I did. And I know that even when the hard times are hard, I'm still happier than I was when I worked for somebody else. I just couldn't stand it. So anyways, that's my thing for tonight, guys. Thank you so much. I definitely appreciate it. This is Get the Winning Edge every Sunday night, 6 p.m. Pacific. And in fact, Shannon brought up a good point. I was thinking about possibly changing it, maybe a Monday night or Tuesday night, or doing it on a different night besides Sunday, because we do know there's a lot of religious and I don't want to take away from families. So that's a thought. Any of you guys that listen to the podcast that aren't on live with me on Sundays, I would love to get some input on, hey, yeah, you know what? A different day would be great. Some of you might go, look, I don't even care because I just download this and listen to it on my radio and when I'm driving. All of that is great. But I definitely appreciate the people that are on. If I can do something to make it so that more people were on live, I mean, we've got 45 people right now, which is great. I mean, it's awesome, but I know we can get it up to 100. So anyways, guys, thank you so much. Have a great night. And as always, go make something happen. I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Bye, guys.